I was gonna I know I was gonna go to sleep, and then I continued working, and then I do have a real problem. I'm gonna be honest. Like I don't know. Like I am just I work hard, damn it. But I had to take a pause because first of all, my hands hurt bad as fuck. Oh god. I have neuropathy. That means that I have nerve damage in my hands and my feet. And so if I am doing too much, if I've overexerted myself, I'll start to feel the effects of that. Um, yeah, and so that's what's happening right now. I'm feeling the effects of that. Hello to those who don't know me. If you're tuning in for the very first time, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's doing well. Whether you're tuning in for the first time or you've been here before. If you don't know me, I am Coach Omi, the Mystical Misfit, and honey, I want to go ahead and get right into this conversation because it's definitely it's quite a conversation. Um, First of all, let me talk to you really quickly about why I even want to do this. I Every time I learn something, every time I learn a lesson, specifically spiritual, but like any lesson, whatever type of life lesson or business lesson or whatever, right? I love to share the experiences and the knowledge that I've gained from that, right? And so, first and foremost, I am really giving you information so that you don't have to be a dumbass like me. It's like to put it simply, that's true. That's what it is. Um, anyway, I wanted to say that I have made a very horrible mistake in the past when it comes to the people that I gave access to me. Okay. I allowed the wrong individuals to have access to me on more than one occasion, and I am only just now recovering from the effects of that. And yes, when you let people into your life, depending on who you're letting into your life, those side effects can be shit, sometimes lethal, okay? But they can be drastic to the point where your whole fucking life gets ripped, torn to shreds, okay, or turned upside down. Now, for me, luckily, I am one that just moves on through the chaos like ain't nothing going on. So nobody really knew what I was undergoing. And I didn't really feel that I could talk about what I was experiencing because I know that a lot of people are not open to this stuff. Okay. But I need you to be open to it, and I need you to hear me out with your undivided attention and unbiased opinions, because unless it's happened to you, you can't really speak on other people's experience. The experience that I had is that I had been warned on multiple occasions through dreams and through my own intuition that the individual that I had let into my life was not a good person. And unfortunately, I didn't listen. And so what happened is this person became very jealous. Okay. And through this jealousy, this person decided to do some black magic. Now, because this person is not someone that is well versed in the sorts, they did something that actually ended up backfiring on them. Now, I've not talked to this person or anything of this nature, but I'm just telling you from what I know. Okay. Remember, I do be knowing. So, now this is all only just now happening. However, this actually, the black magic and all happened years ago. Okay. This happened back in 2021. So basically, I had a person that was pretty much the closest person to me, um, who our relationship was listen, people were very jealous of us, okay? And it wasn't something that we really were aware of because, we were just minding our business. But I was in tune with the energy that I was feeling around certain people. I was also paying attention to certain looks and just the things that people would say. A lot of the times it's just like subtle shit, right? But the thing is, I never knew that it was so severe until everything unfolded the way that it did. Because ultimately, what happened is other people's jealousy drew a wedge in between me and this person. Now, at the time, because I was just really getting deeply immersed in my spiritual journey slash healing journey, I was already kind of like moving away from certain people. And I'm not going to say I was necessarily moving away from her, but I definitely felt like things had changed between us, but not in a sense that I was like, planning to never have her in my life. So, um, the way that things happened to where our relationship shifted so drastically, it was just like, now what the hell? Like, this is the closest person to me. Like, I spent more time around her than I spent around my best friend, which, you know, it's just very interesting that I did not listen to my intuition at the time, and that I kind of like, um I guess just didn't expect, I underestimated the capacity of a person's evil, and now I'm only now able to have the ability to tell this story because, like I said, everything's backfiring finally. And the thing is for the last several years, I've been on my own journey, and because we went our separate ways, I kind of just adapted to that eventually. But it wasn't to say that wasn't a very difficult thing, because it was, because this is somebody that not only am I connected to through past lives, but it's like she is the only person that ever really felt like home to me. And so, because this individual and the other individuals who were jealous as well, who were, connected to me at the time, because of that level of connection that we had, it just really intensified the jealousy that people, had as well. They could feel the energy between us. They saw that the energy between us was different than our relationships with others. And so it just amplified everything basically. But pretty much, long story shortened as possible, as short as possible, um this individual who I should have never let in my life wanted to destroy our relationship. And that's kind of what she did in a sense, but then again, she didn't, because, energy can't be destroyed. So, like, no, but like, yes, there was definitely a lengthy separation between us because of this person's actions. And it's not just one person's actions either, because other people definitely spoke certain things and gossiped and things like that, which that is a form of spell work, you know. So the lesson that I've learned in having someone, like being separated from someone that I feel like home with, is never ever doubt my intuition again. And not even just doubting my intuition, but do not allow my conscious mind to try to talk me into some type of logical way of, oh no, no, this is not what this person is doing, or this person would never do this, or just trying to glaze over what you see is the truth, because you don't want to accept certain hard truths about people, especially if you've already pretty much decided that this person is going to be my family. I'm going to keep this person in my life. I'm going to look out for this person. Fuck no. Absolutely the fuck not. So, first of all, let me just explain to you what spell work is. What is an intention? What is an incantation? All of it technically is spell work. Incantations, intentions. There's those are forms of spell work, right? Um, an incantation is more of, I have an intention, and it's an intention for myself or an intention for the collective, but it's not something that's harmful, right? I'm not trying to inflict any type of harm onto anyone. A intention, it can be as simple as, I want to break these people up. That's an intention. Well, boom, there's the spell. And now the funny thing is I don't think that people realize that when they do certain things, like I said, gossip and things like that, that is forms of spell work, but it quite literally is, okay? Um, when you have a negative intention, let's just look at it like this, because when we talk about black magic, people kind of get that twisted too. But basically, black magic, white magic, magic is magic, right? Which is simply intention, right? Incantation, right? That's same definition. But when we say black magic, we're talking about negative intention, and when we say white magic, we're talking about positive intention. I personally have started to shy away from the word magic and spells myself because there's a lot of there's just a lot of confusion and misuse with these different terminologies, and that's no it's thanks to pop culture, okay? Once something becomes popular and starts trending, then people start misusing shit and turning it all which way but loose. So an energetic imprint, okay, this is what happened to me. There's an energetic imprint. Now, though I was aware that certain things had happened, like for instance, this person stole my crystals, okay? You steal somebody's crystals, you basically it's like a form of violence in a way. Like, you don't steal crystals from someone unless you have an intention to do something harmful to that person, okay? Because it's what it is you're taking something that has my energetic imprint in it, and you're using it for a negative intention. All right. So when somebody is directing negative energy through gossip, curses, envy, or deliberately trying to cast some type of spell, this can leave an imprint on your aura. Okay. It leaves an impression on your aura. Now, because this is all subconscious, what we're speaking about, it can feel very subtle. You may not even recognize that the thing is happening. But the way that these things manifest is through the mind, it's through the emotion. One minute you feel one way, and then out of nowhere, you feel a totally different way. You have no idea why. Well, energetic imprint. This is like a thought, right? Out of nowhere, just forming. And you're like, where did this thought come from? But you're not even really thinking about where this thought came from. You just know that you have a thought. And if you're not one that's mastered your mind and mastered your emotions, then this is going to influence you subconsciously, which ultimately will show up in your reality. Okay. It shows up in the way that you choose to process your reality as a whole. Psychological suggestion. Okay. This is your subconscious absorbing specific feelings and ideas that you're not necessarily aware of, but they're being projected onto you. So let's just say for me, for instance, I'm saying, I'm gonna use it in a positive way because I hate using negative uh, examples. Let's just say this though. I want you to have a good day. So all I'm going to think in my head is, I hope that person has a good day. I hope the collective has a good ass day. Yeah, just every time you turn around, I want you to be smiling and just feeling great about yourself. Boom. This is a psychological suggestion, right? Now you're subconsciously absorbing this because it's being projected onto you, and unbeknownst to you as well, if I'm not speaking it out loud, but I'm just thinking it, your thoughts are still a vibration, right? So it still has impact. That's why you have to be very mindful of your thoughts. The things that you are thinking is actually what is creating your reality. Okay? So now you're absorbing these feelings and these ideas that I'm projecting onto you, right? And it's existing beneath your awareness in the subconscious, but it is programming you nonetheless. If I have an intention for you to have a good day, but let's say you just woke up and you're like, I don't want to have a good day, I want to have a bad day. Right? But all of a sudden you just start feeling happy and joyful, and you're like, where the hell did this come from? Well, I did that. I programmed that without you even realizing it. And this is why it's so important for you to be in control. of your thoughts. It is so important for you to be aware of your feelings, and any type of subconscious programming will be known to you right away, right? You have to become familiar with these things though, so that you don't fall victim like I did and like the other person did in this equation. If somebody is energetically projecting some type of shame or doubt or fear, whether it's about you or about another person, somebody that is energetically sensitive, right? They can become a victim to this programming that I'm projecting or anybody else is projecting. And all of a sudden they'll start to feel these emotions and they don't even know why they're feeling these emotions. Psychological suggestion. Now let's talk about lower vibrations. The lowest vibrations, them icky ass things that we want to stay far away from. Consistently being exposed to negative energy can make somebody feel extremely drained or anxious or confused over time. Okay. It does have to be something that somebody consistently is doing. And that's quite literally what this psychopath was doing. Consistently repeating the same things over and over again. So, not just through gossip, okay, because that was one way, but through actual spell work as well. Really horrible shit, too, that can actually like really hurt people. Couldn't hurt me though. That shit don't work on me. But low vibrations definitely, you can all of a sudden just feel low vibrational. You have no idea why. Well, you may have somebody else around you or that maybe you're not even connected to anymore. You could have cut that person off, but because they still have an energetic connection to you, okay, that's where you got to cut that cord. You got to cut the cord. You can't just block somebody. You got to cut the cord. They can have access to you on a subconscious level, okay? So this is going to over time open you up to limiting beliefs, okay? Limiting beliefs about yourself or limiting beliefs about other people. Now, let's talk about your dream state cuz this is a big one for me because as a psychic medium, this is where a lot of my revelations come from through prophetic dreams, okay? This is how I was able to see my whole life as a kid unfold up until a specific point, though. Let me be clear. I didn't see my whole entire life. I only seen up into a specific point, though, into my adult years. And once I got to that particular point in my waking life, it was quite interesting because I'm like, well, what now? And that's when I realized, oh, it's up to me to write the story now. Anywho, your dream state vulnerability. When you're in your dream state, this is where you're most sensitive, most vulnerable. Okay. And this is why it's really important before you go to sleep to first make sure that you decompress. And if you don't know anything about my little decompressing routine, I got a video about that I talk about that over on the Prosperity Portal. So you can find it over there. Um, the subconscious is more open, okay, when you're in your dream state. It's just you're more prone to psychic attacks or intrusive energies that are, hell bent on penetrating you energetically, okay? So sometimes you'll know that this is happening by way of, oh, I just had a crazy ass nightmare, or I just had some crazy ass sleep paralysis, which is something I used to have a lot when I was a kid. Or you just have a very strange dream and you don't know what the hell it was all about. Maybe you encounter somebody or something of an entity in your dream and you're like, I don't know what the hell that was all about. Yeah, this could be you being psychically attacked or subconsciously attacked by somebody in your waking state. Okay, and now let's talk about how these negative intentions and incantations can create wounds. Okay. Um, well, they stick to you through unhealed trauma. So if you, let's say, somebody is wanting you to feel insecure, okay, and let's say your whole life you've had people who've put you in positions to feel insecure, well, they'll play on that, okay. So whatever it is, that whatever intention it is that they've put out, now it's playing on that trauma that has not been healed, or it's playing on those insecurities or those fears, okay. And that's why some people are more affected by people's spell work than other people are. When you really start to heal and you really start to maneuver through these aspects of, you know, trauma and limiting beliefs, that's when you become more immune to these types of attacks. Okay. But the point is, if you are a person who has specific wounds, energetic wounds, you're more prone to these things to stick to you. Okay. Now, let's talk about protection because it's like, okay, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. What do I do? Well, first of all, no reason to panic, no reason to freak out, no reason to feel afraid, no reason to feel like, wow, you know, I'm ruined. No, no, not at all. Not at all. And here's what I say to the motherfucker who did what they did. You may have won the battle, but clearly I'm winning the war, bitch. Clearly. Clearly. The fuck? Because this stupid motherfucker, excuse me, I'm trying not to cuss, but like I got to just a little bit because this person is just dark and demonic. Ew. Yuck. This motherfucker has popped up in my dream on several occasions. Now, before I was doing what I was supposed to do to ward off the attacks, um, she was popping up in my dream and she was doing really crazy ass shit, like unwanted sexual things. Okay. Yeah. And so, anyway, let me move forward because I can't even stand talking about this demon, to be honest. Protecting yourself against psychic attacks, protecting yourself against negative intentions, the spell work, okay? I mean, it's way more than just blocking somebody. Like I said, you can't just block somebody and be like, that's it, it's done. Nope. You got to do a cord cutting routine. You got to keep up with your spiritual hygiene. Okay. You got to consistently be cleansing with sage. If you have any feelings or suspicions that somebody has been doing something, sending something your way, thinking something negative about you, and because because there's some type of, all of a sudden you're popping up with these certain thoughts that you didn't have before. All of a sudden you have these feelings that you didn't have before. All of a sudden you feel unsure or confused about something or someone, right? Or yourself. So, spiritual hygiene, number one, keep up with that shit. You cannot slack on this at all. Salt baths, okay? I like to take a salt bath on a weekly basis. May have to do it twice a week, 3 times a week. It's up to you. Depends on what your needs are. It's going to be different for everybody. I'm always under heavy attack because I'm in the public eye. So, as you can imagine, I got to do that shit often. And then just making sure that you're staying grounded on a daily basis. Multiple times a day, you may have to reground yourself if you are one of those people that is highly sensitive or deal with anxiety and things like that. I used to live with anxiety myself, and I'm so grateful that I do not anymore. But living with anxiety for years, I tell you that when you practice grounding on a consistent basis, you literally dissolve your anxiety. Okay. If there are any moments that pop up where you feel anxious or your emotions are heightened, because you've been practicing grounding, you will be able to quickly put yourself in a state of relaxation. Okay. You'll feel grounded, you'll feel rooted because you'll know what to do and you'll just swing into action. Okay. So, yeah, keep up with your spiritual hygiene. That's number one. Smoke cleansing, salt baths, and grounding. Okay. Go outside and walk barefoot. For real. I'm not playing. Hug trees. Talk to the trees. It doesn't matter if you feel like it's weird, you feel like it's awkward. Do it anyway and see how you feel. Like, instead of worrying about how you look to other people, worrying about if other people are going to be laughing at you and judging you, do you care more about how other people fucking view you, or whether or not you're protecting yourself against psychopaths? Well, then. The second thing is energetic shielding. Okay, you can create an energetic shield. Okay, I like to call it a cloak. Okay, I love to cloak myself. I cloak myself when I know that I'm under heavy attack, or just in general. I like to cloak myself just because I don't always want to be perceived or seen. You know what I'm saying? Energetically, especially when I'm going into dream state, like let's say during retrogrades and eclipse energy and things like that. When there's a lot of stuff happening cosmically, I definitely do cloak myself. So you can do this by visualizing a sphere of light around you that's surrounding you, and you can visualize gold light, you can visualize white light, or you can visualize violet light. Okay. um and honestly, that's like the primary way that I would recommend for you to do, because the other ways are for more advanced, spiritually seasoned folks. So yeah, use an energetic shield. And this is where, again, practice is going to come into play, because those who may have very busy minds, and y'all know I have ADHD, so I resonate with this. But again, when you practice something, you become better and better at it, right? So you got to consistently practice this, excuse me, um, so that you can shield yourself. Okay. The third thing is affirmations and reprogramming the mind. I love this one because this is one of the things that has helped me to manifest a lot of the things that I wanted in my life. Okay. But it's also the thing that has helped me to protect myself against energetic attacks. Now, I also want to add sigils. Okay. Well, I guess sigils comes in my fourth point. So anyway, affirmations and reprogramming, simple as it sounds. You already know what an affirmation is. So you can say something as simple as, no negative energy can enter my auric field, period. Ashe. You know what I'm saying? Amen. Whatever it is that you like to say to seal it in. Okay. The power of your words and the power of your mind, you'd be surprised. A lot of you guys underestimate this, but sometimes all it takes is for you to say a few words. And even the return to senders, I like to return to sender with love and accountability, though. But fuck that. This bitch ain't getting no love from me. Just accountability. So yeah, return to senders, and making sure that you are protecting yourself with words. Okay, you can come up with your own words to use, create your own phrases to use to protect yourself, whatever feels right and true to you. Okay. Fourth thing is warding off, okay, all the negative energy. And the best way to do this is with crystals. I love a good black obsidian. I do. And I love a good tourmaline as well. Okay. You can get some tourmaline, some obsidian, and some onyx too. Though those all three together, shit, how they gonna stop you? How they gonna stop you? How they gonna stop you? Get you some crystals though, to protect yourself. Keep them in your pocket. Keep them in your pillow. Keep them in your pocketbook. Keep them in your backpack. Keep them wherever, whatever it is that you keep close to you. Um, and also, yeah, evil eye jewelry. You can get a necklace. You can get a bracelet. You can get earrings. Whatever. Make sure that when you're getting these tools, though, that you are cleansing them first and foremost before you use them, but then also you want to infuse them with your energy and intention. So if your intention is to have these tools protect you, then make sure that you use those affirmations that you're going to create for yourself to protect yourself. Use those affirmations while you're holding your crystals. Okay. And you want to make sure you're holding your crystals in your left hand. Your left hand, well, no, you want to hold them in your right hand. Okay. Because this is you're going to be infusing that power with your right hand. You receive with your left hand. Okay. So the other thing is you can draw amulets, or excuse me, you can draw sigils, or you can get you an amulet. I don't really. You can make them too, but like, just draw a sigil. I draw sigils on my mirror. I draw sigils in my journal. I draw sigils. Just all over. You know what I'm saying? You could draw one on your cup. You know, when you first wake up in the morning and you drink your tea, your morning coffee, you could draw one on the bottom of your coffee mug or whatever you like to drink out of. All of these are infusing you with that protection. Okay. Remember that most of what we talk about is really about having a good sense of imagination. Okay, because again, as much as we like to discredit thoughts being able to be powerful, they quite literally are. Okay, they are energetic currency, just like the words that you speak. And then the fifth thing, protect yourself in your dream state. Okay, I would again put some crystals in your pillow when you go to sleep. You can have you can have like a crystal that you take with you throughout the day, and then you can have a crystal that you keep in your pillow. Okay, but whatever the case, definitely protect yourself by putting one in your pillow. Um, and then you can call on your ancestors. You can call on your spirit guides or whatever deities that you know you work with. Okay, before you go to sleep at night. Before I go to sleep before I go to sleep at night, I like to say a protection prayer that I've created. And of course, I'm not going to tell you everything that I've created for myself, because then you're going to try to use that shit. No, you're not going to use me against me. Hello. But you can come up with your own. It's not hard to come up with your own protection prayers and things like that. It doesn't have to be super elaborate and super rhymey and all that. Just stay true to you and the words that feel in your spirit. um but yeah, before I go to sleep, I like to say a protection prayer, and then I like to say thank you for waking me up in my best possible reality, because that pretty much ensures that no matter what what somebody may send my way in the wee hours of the night as I'm slumbering, I have already ensured that my intentions are overriding whatever somebody else thought that they was gonna do. Okay, because your intentions are always gonna override. But if you don't put any intentions out there, then you don't have any shield of protection, and there you are left unprotected. Okay, like unsafe sex. Yuck. Sorry. No, I because anyway, I'm move forward. I heard some stuff about some people. That's all I'm gonna say. And I heard Atlanta got like a huge rate of situations going on right now too, with folks having some sicknesses, child. I don't know. That ain't my business, honey. It ain't my business. Um, and then also dream catchers. Dream catchers are really great. Okay, I love me a great dream catcher. I found one at the thrift store several months ago, and that's what I've been using as well. So you can put your dream catcher by your bed, or some type of protective charm as well. And then also, number six, the sixth thing is cutting cords, honey. Cut them cords, cut them cords, cut them cords. You can find a simple cord cutting meditation on YouTube. Like, seriously, I would just be like real mindful of like who I get my cord cutting meditations from. Like, do a little bit of, just, you know, make sure you know who you relying on for your stuff. Okay, period. I'll just leave it at that. And then I think that's it. Just keep your frequency high. Oh, something else that I like to do, and actually, I don't know. I know everybody won't be able to do this, but I like to play frequencies, like protection frequencies, when I go to sleep, especially when I know that the energy is heightened and there's like a lot of psychic attack at that time. I love to play frequencies. Like, I work with Kalima a lot when it comes to protection. So I'll play certain frequencies related to her, or just protection rituals and things of that nature in general, or just play high vibrations as well. So it's the same thing. Protection and high frequencies are the same thing. Okay, because ultimately what you are doing is you're protecting yourself against negative vibrations by keeping up a positive vibration. You figure deal me? Okay. Also a great way to raise your vibration, laugh. Shit. Find something like look at a comedy. A lot of times y'all don't be feeling high vibrational because you be looking at shit and consuming shit that is just not even, it's not conducive to you feeling happy. Okay, you listen to sad songs and you be watching horror films and shit and watching baddies and watching people fighting and all this and that, and you wonder why your life is a wreck because look at what you're consuming. So consume more funny stuff, consume more sweet stuff, consume more things that make you happy and that lift your spirits, dance, um, pray, chant, create. These are great ways to keep your frequency high. Negative energies cannot thrive in this in an atmosphere of high frequency. Period, point blank. If your frequency is high as fuck, negative energies can never penetrate you. Period. This is why I keep trying to tell people I don't give a fuck how scary the dark may appear. Nothing can compete with the light. Nothing can compete with the light. Period. So, yeah, that's that on that. That's that on that. Make sure that you do not be a victim, okay? Because the shit did suck. I'm not gonna lie to you. I say did suck because I recognize that number one, I'm never gonna do this shit again. Like I'll never ignore my intuition when it comes to a person. In fact, I am super strict when it comes to letting people into my life. I don't just let any old body in, especially now that I like recognize that like hello, I'm the table and I should not just be letting any old body have a seat at the table because they might come to the motherfucking picnic with poison bread, okay, or worse, some shit that they done made and they done put they fucking bodily fluids in, okay, because that's a form of spell work too. Y'all, I done had some crazy shit happen to me. So the shit that I be talking about may sound crazy or foreign to people or maybe even unbelievable, but like it's real. It's real. It's very real. And the more that you stay ready so you don't have to get ready, you ain't gotta ever worry about something like this happening to you. That's that on that.